Alright, since matatapos na ang Q2, I figured it would be nice if we could do a video covering all of yung mga index na stocks. Now, however, medyo mahaba yung video na yun, no, kung ginawa ko siyang iisa lang. So, na-realize ko, mas maganda na we split it up into 6 videos, tas each video will cover 5 stocks. So, parang normal na charting session natin, pero ang focus natin will purely be on mga index na stocks, no? Now, this will be released over the course of this week. So, starting from today, this is part 1. Tapos may 6 total videos na lalabas. Hindi lang ako sure exactly which day lalabas ang alin. Okay? Baka may ibang araw na 2 video lumabas, may ibang araw na wala. And the reason for that is, as I mentioned before, yung schedule ko medyo magulo pa rin, no? But I will get all 6 videos out this week, for sure. That also means na wala tayong trading lesson video for this week. Mapapalitan siya nitong index overview natin. So I hope magustuhan nyo to, no? Kasi for the next 6 videos, ito yung titignan natin. Now, wala akong piniling particular order para walang favoritism, no? Literally, randomize ko lang. Pinasok ko yung 30 names into a randomizer, tapos sinunod-sunod ko lang. Randomize ako na randomize hanggang nakuha ko lahat in a specific order. So it's not gonna be alphabetical, it's not gonna be based on what are my favorites, it's not gonna be based on alin yung maganda, alin yung hindi. It's just purely randomized based on a randomizer that I found online. Now, all that being said, start na tayo, no? I just wanted to take the time to explain what we were gonna do. Para lang hindi kayong magulat bakit during the course of the week ito yung focus natin at bakit wala yung video na ganito or video na ganyan, kasi nga pinalitan ko lahat na puro focus lang is on the index. Alright? Now, we'll start off with ACEN. Itong ACEN, we were discussing this before na maganda sana kung mabasag niya tong green zone. Okay? Then from here kasi it opens up yung range niya papunta dito sa 8.9 to 9.10 na resistance. Now, maganda sana kung from here, either mag-consume muna tayo ng konti, magbigay siya ng opportunity, and at the same time, patunayan niya na legit yung move up, na hindi lang yung parang window dress, no? Na legit yung move up, na meron talagang legs, para meron tayong pwedeng sandalan for a potential trade idea moving forward na balikan nga tong high na to. Okay? Kung mabasag tong resistance area na to, yung next level natin will be at 9.8. Tapos from there, wag na natin muna sobrang pangunahan. Okay? Let's just take this one level or one area at a time. However, kunyari, from here, hindi na maintain. Okay? Parang nag-breakout tayo, tapos nag-fake out lang agad, price broke down, broke beneath tong 7.66 na area, test it from underneath, mag-hold, tas mag-roll over, forming a new low. Pagka ganyan, negated yung trade idea. Kasi biglang pumangit yung itsura ng chart eh. What was supposed to be na parang nagpo-push na tayo higher, diba? Kasi parang nag-breakdown, nag-flag siya eh, technically. It broke above the flag, so dapat may legs eh. Diba? Pagka yung textbook definition ng pag-trade ng flag, dapat may legs to, dapat ang expectation natin is a move to the upside. Pero kung kunwari, sobrang sheer yung pullback, mabasag nga natin tong 7.66, test from underneath, then roll over. Pagka ganon, then baka medyo delikado na. Okay? Kailangan lang paingatan natin kung sakali mang ma-decide nyo i-trade to, alam nyo kung ano yung hahanapin nyo para ma-negate yung trade idea nyo. Plus, in this particular instance, kung mabuo man yun, parang nag-form na rin siya ng head and shoulders pattern dito, no? So that could be a sign na from there, bababa na siya at baka mabalikan yung support natin at sa 6.39 and so on. Next naman, tingnan natin yung EMP, no? Now, tong EMP, essentially, yes, nag-move siya to the upside, but if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, what's been going on is may high, diba? Pwede mo sabihin ito yung low, lower high, lower low, or pwede mo rin sabihin na ito yung high, low, lower high, so we could be potentially driving into a lower low. Again, big picture lang. I just wanted to point that out kasi minsan may mga nagreklamo na bakit di mo tinignan yung mas malaking ganito? Tapos kapag ka nag-focus naman tayo doon, bakit di mo tinignan yung mas maliit na ganito? So we'll do both, okay? Lalo na ngayon na nakafocus tayo sa mga index names. Ngayon, it did move to the upside, so possible then that what's going on is ito na yung low mo, high, maybe it's forming a higher low here, and we can start a drive to the upside, breaking above this high na nag-form at 21.5, possibly filling in the gap before pulling back again. Kapag ganon, at least meron tayong confirmation, kumbaga, on what type of pattern we're forming. The other thing that we can look at is potentially we are forming a very odd shape na inverse head and shoulders pattern dito, no? Now, regardless of how you want to look at this, I think the best case na, kumbaga the best approach or most conservative approach na pwede natin gawin is to wait for a break to the upside nito para lang meron tayong confirmation that it is moving higher. Kasi after all, kahit na tingin mo dito is inverse head and shoulders or gusto mo lang makahanap ng bagong higher low, higher high, whatever, ito yung kailangan mag-break eh. It's possible kasi na from here, umangat siya dito, mag-fall, mag-lower low. So ito na yung high, low, lower, high, lower, low, di ba? Lahat yun posible pa eh. Right now, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere in the sense na kung kunwari nakasalo ka dito sa baba, let's say bumili ka, for you, sa system mo, pasok siya, nakabili ka, it pushed higher, there's not much left to do other than to wait and see what happens next. Pero kung bibili ka pa lang, you need to consider, okay, paano yan? Paano kung kunwari mauntog tayo dito sa 21.26? Eh yung stop mo, sabihin natin, will be below here. 'Di ba? Parang medyo alanganin. So kapag sa mga ganyang situations, I personally find na it's best to just step aside. Yes, the potential for the upside is there, but focusing too much on the gains and not looking as much sa mga potential losses is a good way na matalo talaga sa trading eh. Okay? Yes, pwedeng, kasi gusto ko lang mag-invest. Feeling ko, papasok na to do sa Singaporean exchange and all that is good and it's gonna push higher from there. Pagka ganon, iba yung perspective nyo, that's fine, no? Pero kung kunyari meron kayong plano, you're trying to find a good trade, a good risk-reward trade, I would argue na from here, mahirap pang mahanap yun. Kasi nga, where we stop and where we might end up hitting are still all up in the air. So if in case you want to trade this, diba, just keep all of those in mind para hindi rin kayo nabibigla. Para kung sakali man na biglang nag-ihip yung bago ng hangin, kumbaga, ready kayo. Hindi yung, biglang naging ganito, ano nagagawin ko? Alright? Pero, ang masasabi ko, if from here, let's say ito na nga yung high, we break down, take out this low, I wouldn't be looking forward na kumbaga, bumili muna nito in the short term. Kasi pagka ganon, likelihood na mangyayari is we break here sa 16.5, come back, tag it, break lower, and I don't think na mag-hold na to. I think what happens there is we revisit tong mga lows na nandito, and if pati yan mabasag pa, we might revisit tong support na nandito. Diba? Tong double bottom na naiwan from before. So, konting ingat-ingat lang dito sa EMP. Alright? Now, right now, it's looking like it could push higher, maybe, but again, reminder lang, konting ingat-ingat, lalo na yung time of the year or time of the quarter na may potential tayo for window dressing. Syempre, ayaw naman natin na tayo yung mahuli taya, di ba? Next, tignan po natin yung MER. Now, itong MER, essentially, what it's doing right now is it's ranging between itong 380 na high, tapos yung 330 na low. Okay? That's a decent range, very tradable, no? That's why when we came back here, di ba? Nag-form nga siya ng support dyan, nag-bounce tayo, almost came back dito sa 380, nabitin ng mga 4 or 5 pesos, and then nag-start na naman mag-roll over. So, for me, that's just saying na, okay, we're still stuck within this range here. Could you range trade this? Sure. Kapag meron kayong sistema that allows you to trade ranges, you can do so. In fact, pwede nyo rin siyang i-segment like what I did here. Bakit itong 360 merong level? Kasi kung titignan natin, siya talaga yung inflection point eh. Acted as resistance here, support there, support there, support there, support there, and so on, no? Resistance here. So I feel na itong 360 is a very decent inflection point. So it's important that I mark it out dito sa chart ko kasi it helps me map it properly. Now, kung kunwari, I was gonna trade this ng segmented, kung kunwari ba, above 360 ko siya ita-trade, targeting 380, worth it ba? Maaaring hindi, no? For a lot of people, from a risk-reward perspective, baka hindi siya okay. Okay? Now, the other thing is, paano kung kunwari i-trade ko tong lower range na to? Mas conservative ba yun? Mas okay ba yun? After all, sa case na to, in one candle lang, kinuha yung buong range na yun. Diba? Pagka ganon naman, we need to consider na, ayun nga, nagkaroon na tayo ng chop dito, meron pa sa chop na isang candle lang na abot agad yung target. So, is it still worth it or mataas pa ba yung probability na gagana yung trade na yon? Okay? Now, all of that will depend kung anong sistema yung ginagamit nyo pang trade. Kung talagang range trader kayo, tapos sanay na yung mata nyo, alam nyo yung hinahanap nyo sa mga ganito situations, then by all means, no, you go for it. After all, despite the fact na namamatay yung index natin, MER has more or less continued to be strong. It has stayed dito sa taas, diba? It's been ranging here. Yes, yung chart niya hindi ganun ka-aesthetically pleasing, which is why hindi ko siya usually sinasama sa mga charting sessions natin. Diba? Kasi kung titignan natin, very barcodey, for lack of a better term, yung itsura niya eh. Para sa akin, hindi siya masarap sa mata. Diba? Hindi siya yung very natural basahin from one level to the next. Okay, so kung meron kayong sistema na ginagamit nyo to range trade, you can use it here, assuming mag-trigger siya, no? But for me, what I would prefer is a deeper push. Kung mabasag natin tong 330, baka mabalikan natin tong zone na to around 310, 315 na area. Tapos kung dyan tayo makahanap ng bullish price action, that might yield a better risk-reward na level-to-level trade. Again, the way I trade is from one level to the next. Hindi ko hinahabol yung mga bagger, mga ceiling. I just trade from one level to the next, no? So, napaka-importante lang sa akin is kailangan maganda yung risk-reward. So, I was thinking na if we do get a pullback dito sa blue zone beneath, that might yield a trade that will give me the type of risk-reward that I'm looking for. Maybe 3:1, maybe 4:1. That remains to be seen pa. In fact, from here, it could actually dig even deeper. Baka mabalikan pa niya tong mga highs na to, and I would still be looking for more or less the same thing. Okay? But for now, again, wag natin sobrang pangunahan. For now, we're still stuck within this range. Let's respect the range and let's see what happens next from here. Next, tignan po natin yung Wilcon, no? Now, tong Wilcon, what happened was we broke beneath this level of support at 24.75. Minark out natin yan, tas dati natin pinag-uusapan din yan, diba? If you remember, or if you want, you can refresh yourselves by checking our older videos on Wilcon, no? We broke down dito sa 24.75 na support, and then we gap lower. In this candle here, essentially, nag-gap fill tayo. Bitin ng konti, yes, but essentially yun na yung nangyari, no? So, ang low nito was 24.5, ang high nito was 24.45. So, for me, personally, gap filled na yan. We filled the gap, tapos ngayon, essentially, nagkokonso pa rin tayo sa area na to. Now, what can we anticipate dito sa Wilcon? Kung kunwari, from here, we come back and we start trading above 24.75 ulit, some people may be tempted and say na maybe we can trade this range between 24.75 to 27.7, perhaps even higher, aim for 30 pesos. Okay, for me, kahit na makuha yan, what I would be thinking is, may mga lows tayo na naiwan dito before. So kahit na ma-retake yan, baka mauntog lang tayo sa mga lows na to. So again, I would rather na mas magiging bullish lang ako kung ma-retake natin tong 27.7 or tong 30 pesos. Okay, again, depending on how conservative or aggressive you are and how bullish or bearish you are regarding Wilcon in particular. Kasi syempre, kanya-kanyang chart, may kanya-kanyang approach yan. May kanya-kanyang stock, may kanya-kanyang approach. Hindi natin maiiwasan na our biases will come into play. Diba? So, let's, kumbaga, ride into the skid. Maximize our strengths. Kung yan yung pinag-aralan mo, talagang may paninindigan ka, edi syempre, you can afford to be more aggressive, no? Kung kunwari naman, hinahabol mo lang is quick trade here, quick trade there, scalp here, scalp there, then you want more confirmation. You want a stronger level of conviction before you jump in. Now, the other thing that I'm watching out for is if price could pull back dito sa demand zone natin sa baba, itong previous area of consolidation na to, I would wait to see kung mabibigyan ba tayo ng some type of bullish price action. Again, it could be in the shape of something like maybe inverse head and shoulders, something like that. Something na pwede kong sandalan, something na pwede kong gamitin as a thesis for a trade idea moving forward. Kasi just catching it dito sa white zone, while yes, there are times that I do that, I'm not gonna do that kapag ganito kapangit yung market. Diba? Kasi parang sumasalo ka lang nun for the sake of makasalo eh. Para makachamba sana na ito na yung low. So gusto ko sumalo dito kasi ito na yung low. Tapos kapag nasalo ko, ang galing ko. 'Di ba? Mamamaximize ko yung move. Pero paano kung hindi? At dahil hindi nga ganun kagandahan yung market, the odds na masalo natin yung bottom, hindi ganun ka-taas, 'di ba? So rather than force myself na hanapin yon, I would rather wait for something more confirmatory such as a bullish pattern of some type before jumping in. At the very least, yes, mas mahal ko siyang mabibili, pero parang I'm using that to pay for some type of confirmation and help me formulate a better trade idea. Now, kung kunwari itong white zone na to mabasag pa rin, our next level of support will be 19 pesos na. And if 19 pesos breaks, then highly likely we come back and revisit tong mga lows na naiwan natin from before. And then finally, tignan po natin yung AGI. Now, itong AGI, nag-form siya ng double bottom dito around 9 pesos na area, di ba? So, this low here plus that low there. Okay, sorry, naando ko kaagad yung drawing ko. Okay, so from there, what can we expect? Number one, kung mag-hold yan, then we likely see price trade within this range here from 9 pesos papuntang 9.81. Okay, you can be a bit more conservative and maybe move your level here around 9.7. But for me, I'll stick to between 9 pesos to 9.81. Okay, but I wouldn't necessarily trade this outright kasi para sa akin, placing a stop here, parang may mali. It doesn't feel right. Kasi right beneath that, meron tayong demand zone na naghihintay. So what I would rather do, okay, is hintayin kung yung price pumunta ba dito sa demand zone. Again, similar sa tinitingnan ko sa Wilcon, kung mabigyan tayo ng some type of bullish structure here, baka maakuha tayo ng mabilis na bounce trade from dito sa mga 8 pesos, 8.10 na area, 'di ba? Pabalik nitong 9 pesos. That's a quick 10% din, no? More or less. 'Di ba? Once you take comms and everything away. Syempre, di ko naman masabi yung exact dahil di pa natin nakikita yung actual structure at wala pa tayong actual trade idea. But I think that would yield a better risk-reward trade than simply trading it from here tapos ikakat agad beneath etong support. Maaaring mag-dip yan konti at tumaas kasi right beneath it, nandun yung area of demand natin So I'm not comfortable na maglagay ng tight stop dito only to be stopped out tapos makikita ko sinuka ko pala yung baba. Okay, hindi maganda yung effect nung ganun sa psychological wallet natin Alright? Now the other thing is if we can trade back up, ma-reclaim natin tong 9.8, then I think that opens up the opportunity na mag-trade ulit within this range between 9.8 to 10.5. Now, I'm aware na may untog tayo rito around 10.2, 'di ba? Kasi may low tayo dito, may low din tayo dito 'di ba? So maaaring mauntog siya ng 10.2. So I would be wary of that in case na decide ko na gusto ko siyang i-trade that way. Alright? Kasi kapag gano'n, ang tinitignan natin is roughly around 4 to 5% kung percentage gains lang ang bilang But from a risk-reward perspective, it might offer something decent. So again, it remains to be seen. I'm aware of it. I just didn't draw a level dito sa chart ko. Okay, but overall, this is still looking quite bearish. Baka makuha pa rin natin siya dito sa lower levels. So I would rather wait than to do something preemptive at pagsisisihan ko rin lang sa huli. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!